Hey, welcome. We're going to get into a really big question today. In a world where AI can spit out an answer to pretty much anything, what exactly is a teacher's job anymore? When all of human knowledge is right there on our phones, what does it really mean to teach?
So everything we're talking about today starts with this story. It's from a teacher, and wow, it just gets right to the heart of the matter. You can really feel how much they care, but also how much they're struggling. They're trying so hard, but they're hitting a wall, and they're putting all of that blame squarely on themselves. It's a feeling that I bet so many teachers out there know all too well.
So yeah, let's unpack this a little. Because this isn't just one person's private struggle, right? This is really a snapshot of a huge dilemma that educators everywhere are grappling with. It's an honest-to-goodness struggle with a system that is changing at lightning speed right under their feet. And here are all the different pressures just piling on. You see, for the students, this class isn't just about learning Korean. It's about getting a piece of paper, a certificate that's their ticket to a better future. So the teacher feels this incredible weight of responsibility. But then you add in cultural differences that make it hard to connect, and what do you get? This deep, nagging frustration that the teacher ends up turning inward, thinking, it must be me, I'm just not skilled enough.
But is it though? Is a personal lack of skill really what's going on here? Let's dig into the real reason behind all this frustration, because I gotta say, the answer's probably not what you're expecting.
So this is the big question we have to ask. Is this whole story just about one teacher's personal shortcomings, or is it a sign of something much, much bigger happening in the world of education?
Now, the source we're looking at offers this really blunt, almost kind of harsh diagnosis. It says, if you're a teacher and you feel frustrated, that's a signal that you are the one who lacks skill. But wait, hold on. Before you think we're just back to blaming the teacher, it's the definition of skill that is about to change this entire conversation.
And boom, here it is. This is the big shift. See, the old definition of a great teacher was someone who was really good at transferring knowledge, pouring it from their brain into their students' heads, but that's not the game anymore. The new skill is being able to adapt. It's recognizing that the whole point of education has changed. So the frustration isn't coming from a failure to teach, it's from trying to use an old map in a totally new world.
And this leads us to a massive, almost unbelievable idea, the end of knowledge-based education itself. We're talking about the end of a model for teaching that has been the standard for literally centuries. Let's just sit with that for a second. The era of teaching knowledge is over. It's a really bold statement, I know, but it's the key idea we have to wrap our heads around to understand what comes next.
So, why is it over? That's a huge claim, right? Well, this chart here lays it all out. On the one hand, our access to information through tools like AI is through the roof. It's everywhere. But then, look at student motivation. Their drive to actually learn raw facts from a teacher, it's pretty low. But their motivation to get that credential, that ticket we talked about, sky high. And that massive gap right there is what makes the old way of teaching totally obsolete.
So this is the new reality. Your students are not in your classroom because you're the only one who has the information. They know they can get that on their phone in 2 seconds. They are there for the spec, the qualification, that line on their resume that helps them build a career. And just accepting that fact, that's the first step to moving forward.
Okay, so if the old job is gone, what's the new one? Well, the answer is actually really surprising and, honestly, kind of wonderful. It's about playing together.
This comparison just makes it all so clear. You're not a lecturer anymore. You're a guide. You're not the all-knowing expert. You're a co-learner, figuring things out alongside them. You're not just holding on to knowledge. You're facilitating a process of discovery. Basically, you're shifting from being a teacher to being a playmate.
And this right here is the core piece of advice. You have to play together, not teach at them. The moment you try to go back to the old way to just force-feed them information, that's when things get tangled up. That's when all that frustration comes rushing right back in. It's a total change in mindset.
But how do you actually do that? It sounds a little abstract, but it's really practical. Step 1, just let go. Stop trying to be the expert who has to transmit all the information. Step 2, be honest. If a student asks something and you don't know the answer, just say so. It actually builds trust. 3, learn together. Use AI with them. And finally, your role is to guide the whole process. Give them interesting projects or problems, and then explore the answers together.
Now, this whole shift isn't just about making one classroom feel a little better. This is about getting ready for a massive global change that is coming, and it's coming fast.
The source we're drawing from points to this one specific year. 2030. That's really not that far away, and it's being marked as a huge turning point.
So why 2030? Well, the prediction is that after this date, we're going to see this enormous wave of students from all over the world coming to places like South Korea. And they won't be coming for old school lectures. They'll be looking for this new, collaborative, playful kind of education. The teachers who have already mastered this new way of thinking, they're going to be the ones leading the charge.
And that brings us to this really powerful final idea. That classroom, the one that felt so frustrating, it's not a problem. It's a laboratory. It's your chance to experiment with new ways of teaching, to actually have fun learning with your students, and to prepare yourself for this incredible future that's just around the corner.
So, the main takeaway here is pretty clear. The world is changing. The old rules don't apply, and that feeling of frustration is just a signal that we need a new way forward. The new way isn't about being the expert with all the answers, it's about being a guide, a collaborator, a fellow explorer. This new era of education is coming, whether we like it or not. The only real question left is, are we ready to play?